Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to maintain efficiency with your star point corners with regard to White's 3-3 invasion. We're going to take a look at a bunch of dubious double wing formations that are highly vulnerable to the 3-3 invasion. And finally, I'll show you how to maximize your efficiency with the 4-4 point. If you do find this valuable, please do like, comment, subscribe, as it really helps out the channel a lot. And without further ado, let's get into it. First off, it's going to be important to know that when black has the small knight's move enclosure like this, unless white has any stones nearby, for example an approach move at A, the 3-3 invasion is going to result in a ko that black takes first. Later on, if black wants to completely seal off the corner, black can choose the kosumi or play another knight's move depending on just how solid black wants to be. If white tries to invade this one, then A or B can capture. If white invades this one, then the strange looking diagonals at A or B are the key to capturing this white corner. Do note, however, that because this corner is a little looser, the agi inside's a little worse, especially if white gets any stones nearby. If white invades black's large knight's move enclosure, white actually lives unconditionally without any approach move required. The same is of course true for any farther or looser extension. If you want to learn pretty much everything there is to know about the small knight's move enclosure, including how to invade it, different ways to approach it, and how it compares to the large knight's move enclosure, check out the video linked in the upper right and in the description. Alright, to start us off, let's take a look at a large double wing formation with two extensions both all the way to the middle lines. When white jumps into the 3-3 point, black's going to have to pick a side. Let's suppose that black blocks the right side. White's going to crawl. In these examples, we'll assume that black plays the hane for simplicity. White hanes back, black extends, white pushes one more time, and at this point white can either ignore or push one more time. The hane and connect here probably wouldn't be the best idea in this case since it makes black pretty strong on the outside. Either way, the problem ends up being that although black develops the right side really well, the territory on the top gets pretty much trashed, and the black extension at k17 ends up misplaced. Black's not making any territory on the top, and at this point the stone would be better placed elsewhere. Although black's pretty inefficient on the top, the 5 space distance on the right side is pretty well placed. Therefore overall, black does usually have a pretty acceptable result here. It's not the most efficient black formation, but when white jumps into the 3-3, the result's generally going to be acceptable for both players. Notice that just to get a locally even result, both of black's extensions had to be this far away. Maybe you can see where I'm going with this. What do you think of this double wing formation? White invades, black's going to block off the wider side to get more territory, white's going to push, black plays hane, atari. If we follow the typical pattern here, black now has to fix against the cut, which is also atari. White has time to live in the corner, and now we can see that black's stones are definitely over-concentrated here. If black ends up having to capture like this, then it's going to be even worse. Therefore, here we see a formation that you should generally avoid. How about this one? Invade, block the wider side, and white's going to push. If we follow a natural sequence like so, white's probably going to use this timing to peep here, although it's not really too important. And either way, white's going to play the hane and connect here to make fully alive in the corner. At this point, black can either defend here and accept that the stones are over-concentrated and inefficient, not only getting gote, but pretty much less territory than even white's corner. On the other hand, if black plays away, not only does white have a working clamp here for later on, but even the cut agi here is pretty bad. Alright, how about this case? Notice that the marked stone here is one space closer to the corner than our first example. What do you think that means? It means it's actually going to be worse this time. As usual, black's going to block off whichever side gives more territory. White's going to play the typical sequence of pushing out. We can see that the black stone over here ends up even more misplaced than before since it's closer and still not getting any territory up here. Essentially, it's a redundant stone that black would like to pick up and put somewhere better. Okay, another example. What do you think? You know, putting these stones on the 4th line doesn't really make anything better. White invades, black blocks the wider side, and playing things out as usual, with the peep here being completely optional, especially if black does have a good way to resist it, white can just simply play over here directly. This is still very over-concentrated, and in this case it would even be gote for black again too. Alright, this time we have a small knight's move involved. What do you think? Well, I told you guys this was a ko, and adding a large knight's move over here isn't really going to change that. How about something like this then? Yes. The nice thing here is that not only do you have a wide extension giving you good potential for the right side, you pretty much have some corner territory already, in addition to the side. Early in the game, if you didn't want to fight the ko, you could choose to either defend here and let white live inside, or even tanuki and leave the ko option for later. Either way, your stone efficiency would be pretty okay here. What's also nice here is that you're still building up that two-dimensional framework, which is great because later on you can expand into the center. Plus later when you add a move here or here to solidify the corner, you're also going to be solidifying a lot of the side territory. For example, if white tries to invade this, then because you're so solid over here like a wall, you could try to just push white into it. If white attaches, then you can hane, and you can probably just keep pushing. And even if all you did was simply connect, white's still going to have a pretty hard time here for a while. For example, push, hane, and if white hane's back, you might consider to cut. Otherwise, double hane here. If this whole thing becomes your territory, then that's quite efficient. Because the knight's move corner is relatively secure, it's going to be okay even if this black stone's a little bit closer. If white jumps in the corner, it's ko. If white approaches, then you get to kick and then attack, maybe from here, maybe from here. And if black gets time to add a move around here, then that's going to be really good and efficient. If there's one thing to take away from this, then try to just not play multiple mid-length extensions. For example, something like this, or like this, and this, and this. Just don't play moves like these. You want to either play two really far extensions, or a really far extension and a knight's move or large knight's move enclosure, or don't even bother with the large extensions and just play a knight's move and then another small one like closing off here or a knight's move here. These are some of the most efficient combinations you can make. Special thanks to my patrons for making this all possible, and an extra special thanks to Daniel Boy, Rum Ford, Tyrus Bob, Kadar, Grey Margin, Leginkar, TP Melly, A. Petresk, Vikas 1984, Stasso, Mr. Lalonde, Darth Lala, and Muskrat19 for going the extra mile. If you guys got value out of that, please do like, comment, subscribe. Stay safe, keep sente, and I'll see you guys in the next one.